Your brothers, except Al, were all farmers, right?
Yeah,
Isidore,
All the boys.
Al
Simon.
and I weren't.
Peter,
Well,
they were-
Joe.
Yeah, Simon was a farmer for a while,
Yeah.
but then he was, what type of work did he?
Oh, he trucked, stocked South St. Paul.
No, that was, that's Simon, but I mean Isidore, he was a.
Oh, he was some kind of contractor. He's a
Yeah.
carpenter.
Yeah, I know, he was a
That's what
contractor,
he
he worked, well, he fell off of was it a windmill or fell
No,
off?
it was a big new building in
roof
Detroit Lakes
Yeah,
that
putting
they
a
were
roof
building
on.
there. And he was carrying a big sheet of plywood and it was a little windy, I guess. And the wind got him and
Blew off,
Hmm.
off the roof and killed him. But all the rest of them, they were farmers, except Al. Al was a banker.
yeah.
And Pauline was a farmer's wife.
Farmer's
Yeah.
wife, yeah.
And
Married,
Joe's wife was Frances. She
Yeah.
was a farmer's wife. But, well, Mary, they had a implement business. Mary's husband.
Married Stanley. An implement business.
So, outside of that.
And Mike
Mike's
worked for the,
Francis
Mike
Yeah.
worked for the railroad.
worked for the railroad and chewed Copenhagen.
Yeah.
I remember that. And played cricket.
And played one of the best cribbage players going.
Yeah, he was.
If you didn't move fast enough, he yelled at you.
Yeah, and he had all kinds of solitary games to play too, by himself.
And he had a player piano.
Yeah.
He had a player
Yeah,
piano that we go over there and then Aunt Rose and Uncle Bern.
Yeah.
Who called him Uncle Bern? Matt and Sloan.
Yeah, I think so.
Sloan
They were
was
Vern.
on. Yeah, Sloan.
Instead of Vern.
She couldn't say Vern, she said Bern. It was Uncle Bern.
He was
Was
oil
city
man.
oil man was City Service
Yeah.
Oil Company.
And Rose worked at Minnesota Mining.
Well, anyway, my dad, he got to be treasurer of the school board and the bank, local bank and everything else. And
Let the boys do the farming.
yeah, after,
He
I don't
just
even remember
did
him
the bossing.
working on the farm.
He did the bossing.
Yeah, he was
the
the
boss.
boss that I remember on the farm until after he retired. Then he used to work for my brother Peter there. And,
He got lonesome.
he
for
did
the
more
farm.
work then on the farm than I remember otherwise. Well, anyway, he did all this bookkeeping with fourth grade German education. All his arithmetic he did in German.
Huh. Well, he
I
learned
can
it,
remember something
I
about that.
suppose, and never
But
learned it.
and he had all his big jobs like that with that little education. He was a self-educated person.
Well, they didn't have computers in those days,
Yeah.
so you had to use your head.
Sounds like that's where Uncle Al got his banker
Yeah,
business from him, huh?
yeah, possibly
Yeah.
so.
Of course, Allie went to St. John's University for 1 year, and then he started working in the bank there after school. He went to high school in Little Falls, and he kept on working in the bank
Oh,
afterwards.
For the next 60 years.
Yeah.
I think was a long time before he retired from the bank.
Yeah, $40 a month, I guess he got paid.
To start with.
So, of course, the last years he did better than that. But
Yeah, yeah. But he was
Everybody
there.
else did
He
too.
was there 60 years, you hope, or 50 plus years.
Yeah.
well, he did a lot of book work on the side too. The last 10 years that he worked in the bank.
Yeah.
A lot
He
of
got
small
extra-
firms around
He got
there.
pretty good extra pay for that.
And he sold
in fact,
insurance.
some of the guys even give him an extra bonus for doing that.
He sold insurance a lot too.
Yeah, he
A
sold
lot of
insurance.
When he
to
worked
the
at
farmers.
the bank for
Yeah.
all those years.
Yeah.
He could have been the top guy in the bank, but he didn't want that job.
Yeah.
he got next to the
Next
top.
to it.
And that's the
That was
he
enough.
didn't want
Like
to go
he
any
said,
farther.
now.
He didn't want
they,
the responsibility.
Now at the banks, they say the bank examiners are coming on Tuesday. He said, we never got any warning.
No,
Nobody
those days,
ever told him anything.
they came,
Here they come.
they just
Here
come
we
in
are.
any day. They
Yeah.
never knew when they were coming.
Surprise you. And that's the way it should
That's-
be.
he says
Then
that's
they
the
would
trouble
find
today.
A lot of
They
these
call him and,
things.
can we come next Tuesday or next Friday or stuff like that. He says,
Give them all kinds of warning.
Yeah.
So
sure,
they
get
can make
time to
sure
clean up
everything's
the
right.
books
Yeah.
A little bit.
that's why they can cover things up, you know. That's altogether wrong, but those days it was different. That's why they had to be honest.
Yeah, right.
Dad, what was your first job?
Put lightning rods on a house, on barns.
I worked in the hardware store there. And I worked in the store, and then during the summertime, I'd put up those lightning rods for all the farmers around there.
How old were you?
I don't know, 14, 15, I guess. I was still going to school.
You were plenty brave enough to crawl up on top of barns and put those up.
Never used a ladder. Used to throw a clothesline rope over the roof, and then tied a big rope to this clothesline and pull the big rope over and tie it on the other side.
And then climb up the
And
rope.
climb up the building and the roof with this rope.
You mean they didn't have ladders back in that day, or what?
I don't know, this was faster
It
than
was
handier.
faster.
Faster than handier, I guess. I don't
They
remember
had big
why.
old wooden ladders that weighed a ton.
They didn't have
They didn't have aluminum ladders.
No.
They
They
were
were
wood.
heavy.
If they were 30 feet tall, they weighed
Oh, they were heavy.
twice as much as you did.
Took a couple men to handle them.
Yeah. Good sized men.
Yeah. And I was fast climbing up the rope, up the side and up the roof. Had a bag hanging on you with the tools and hammer and stuff.
Everybody had lightning rods in those days, huh?
Yeah, that was
What
good
was the
business.
purpose of lightning rods?
Well, that was a lot of copper. That
Well,
was
if
all
the
copper.
lightning struck, it would hit that
Copper
rod
wire,
and go
woven
down
wire.
into the
Yeah.
ground. See, they had a wiring somewhere that went
Oh,
into
yes.
the ground.
Couple,
And
3,000 feet
otherwise
on
it
some of
might
the big
start a
buildings.
fire.
And that wire.
That
You had
was
to
it.
string all of that and tack it down. Have special kind of clips to nail them down with.
Yeah.
So, what was your next job?
Oh, I don't know, I guess,
You moved to St. Paul, didn't you?
yeah. I worked in South St. Paul for, I don't know, a couple of months, I guess. And,
In the stockyards?
yeah, in the building there, I was splitting the heads open, taking out the brains.
Oh, I can't see you doing that.
I did.
Huh? You didn't know that?
He wouldn't even kill a chicken.
Well, I didn't like that either, so then,
That's
So
why you only
that's why he
stayed
left.
there 2 months.
That's why he stayed 2 months.
so then,
What do you mean gross?
He wouldn't even
I
kill
wrote
a
to my
chicken.
dad, and I had an idea about going to this the show card school or science school. So he sent me a check to go to that school for a while. So that's where I learned sign painting.
Okay.
And then I finally got to work evenings in the service station for the city service oil company. And I painted a few signs just for the station there to sell something. I don't remember what, but anyway, the superintendent of the company used to come by the station. He seen that and he says, "Where'd you get them?" I says, "I made them." So it was, I don't know, 2-3 days later, he came back and he says, "How would you like to come and
Do sign
paint
work
our
for us.
trucks and paint signs for us?" So that's how I got to do that job. I was there, I don't know how many years. But then that spray painting kind of got me a little bit for a while. So I kind of had to quit that for a while. And then I got to work for a sign company altogether, which was better. And every summer I used to work, paint signs, and in the wintertime I hauled fuel oil.
The girl's getting hungry with her
in
job.
Minneapolis. But then when we moved to Arizona, I wanted to get back in the sign business here. Well, they just busted up the union here, so that was out. So then finally went in business, Vernon and I, Vogel. And then later I got to work for this oil company, all in driving 18-wheeler.
That's where you got your cane from.
Well, during World War II, I drove 18-wheeler there, most of practically during the whole war. In fact, the company got me 2 deferments.
I remember
'Cause
when
it was an essential job, see. And
remember.
I had, I think I had 10 days left on the last one. And
Yeah, we were already figuring
And,
things out, how I was gonna get along with these 2 boys of mine.
yeah, no, that was the last deferment. I wasn't going to get any more. Then
Yeah.
they changed the age limits, put me out.
So you were safe.
Safe. Oh, boy, that
I
was a
just
happy day.
That mom was thrilled,
That
weren't
was
you?
a happy
I missed
day.
by about 6, 8 days, I guess, getting in the Army.
That's pretty close.
So that was close.
I remember you telling me that those in the summertime, those trucks got so hot you'd stand out in a running board when you went up the big hills.
Oh,
You
yeah.
put it in granny gear and stand out on the running board so you could get some fresh air.
When you go up to St. Croix Hill there, we used to call it the lowest gear, grandma gear.
Yeah.
So we put it in grandma gear and then stand on the running board.
Get a little breeze.
And climb up the hill all the way.
Slow but sure.